A couple of the specifics today about the setup and some of the things I look for and how to practice putting properly, okay? All right, here we go. The arc of your stroke is not created in your stroke intentionally. It's your hands that travel straight back, and because the putter's at an extension from your hands, even with the hands traveling straight back, the putter naturally arcs. But the biggest thing is understanding the hips staying right in line with the ankles. We don't want any sit back there. But the big ones, the putter and the forearms being a direct extension of one another. The ability to anchor and have those elbows into the body. Now watch this, guys. I'm not going to go to the side of my body on the seams of my shirt because now my hands have to get overactive and they're jammed. They're in front of my body. So this elbow is really in the front of my body here, splitting the difference between my sternum, the center of my body, and the seam on my shirt, the side, right on the side front. Does that make sense? Now, what's really important to understand is part of Tiger's success, you know, in having that one-handed drill, and I know he always says he's working on his release, but it's the stability you get from having your arms rotated in the right spot and having that elbow really connected to the body. That controls the path of the stroke and even can control the face angle. And under pressure, that really stabilizes the stroke, okay? But back to the hand positioning and being where it is. If I were to have the right length putter first, have the elbows in the right spot and tilt over the balls of my feet the right way, well, my eyes would be directly over the ball. My hands would be, if I let them just hang, directly underneath my shoulders. Here's the big key. If my hands are outside, the person's going to really be swinging around them. If the hands are in a lot of times, the putter will actually kind of sometimes even push out. And there's really nowhere to go, right? So what I like to have my students understand is when the hands hang freely underneath your body and you have that connection of the arm to the body, the path really gets to become a lot straighter, a lot longer. Okay, so first things first for you. Get the putter direct extension of your arms, anchor to the right spot. My mentor, Todd Soanes, one of the best putting instructors, in my opinion, the best putting instructor ever. He really helped me understand a simple phrase he used to call rotate, tuck, and tilt, which was absolutely incredible. Hands out, rotate them in, tuck, and then tilt. Now watch, he'd always have us step forward over the balls of our feet to tilt until the putter hits the ground, and that really keeps the hips over the ankles, the hands under the shoulders, eyes over the ball. Let's see you do that. Beautiful right there. So Kev, get behind him right away. Right there. You'll see the hands are hanging freely under the shoulders. He has the space he needs to here. He's a little more out over the golf ball, playing golf underneath him and not around him. That stroke's gonna get a lot better. You know, understanding the setup is big, but having checkpoints for it are even more important, in my opinion, because you know you need something to be able to remain consistent. Big thing. Here we go. If I'm set up the right way, there's obviously the old school way of having the ball up here, dropping the ball. I just like picking the putter up like this, right to my right eye, and I can see the shaft line right down in line with the ball. Perfect. The next one, are my hands truly under my shoulders? Let gravity take over. Oh. Or how about too close like you would have been? What would have happened? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's a big one. So we have eyes over ball, we have hands under shoulders, and we always have our hip joint over our ankle. So there are 3 lines. You can draw one line there, one line from hands down to shoulders, and the other eye line down to the ball. And that's what we do. Let's do that. Hey, you want to hear something even cooler that Todd Soanes taught me? Really cool. Top of the wrist crease down to the toes is a perfect straight line. What do you notice? That's A squared. The horizontal from the toes to the ball, that's B squared, a perfect right triangle. So if you find out the distance of that and that, what does it give you? The perfect putter length, C squared. I never thought I'd be using the Pythagorean theorem again in my life. But A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And maybe we'll get Todd on to collaborate with him on our YouTube channel, and we'll show you the cool device that Todd has to fit putters that gets you in the right position every time, okay? We have the eye line. We have the hands just hanging. Now, interestingly enough, we've seen Nicklaus. We've seen Bryony Baird, and a guy on tour. We've seen some stances, my whole point is, that are not square.
What? What in the heck is that?
That is next level.
But guess what's a constant? shoulder alignment. Shoulders are the train track of the putting stroke. Now, if you had to ask me, what do I prefer? Slightly open feet to kind of engage the putt fine. Everything you do, bowling, everything, is facing the target, so a little bit open's fine. I like to have my players as square as possible because I do believe it paints nice parallel lines that makes it very easy to stroke it down that line every time, okay? Not gonna hate on anybody for having a little bit of the left foot staggered, an inch back, not a problem, okay? But I don't like to see it too much. The big thing is that shoulders are aligned. So here's the thing, what an easy way to check shoulder alignment. It's my favorite checkpoint. Right here, Brian Stark was doing this every single putt the entire U.S. Amateur this year at Oakmont, made it all the way to the Elite Eight. Here we go. I'm gonna say my shoulders are very closed. I wanna find out. Let the hands hang. Oh. How about if they're open? Or how about this? Square. Very cool, right? Now, from the face-on view, ball position. Nose and sternum are the top of your pendulum. Okay, now ideally in a putt, we would be hitting slightly up on it with a DELOFTed face. Being a tennis player, why? Top spin on the ball. Yeah. You got it, buddy. You said it right away. Well, having the ball just ahead of center, 1 inch, would mean if I put the grip right in line with my zipper and held it straight down and had the ball left of that, that would be the right ball position, just 1 inch ahead of center. Now, what I like to do for my players is I like to then take the butt of the club, and look how small this is, and just press it a tiny bit over the top of the golf ball. What did that do? It took that 3 degrees or 4 degrees that the putter has of loft, it negated it, and then the most important thing we understand in a stroke, we don't change our wrist crease. There's none of this happening, okay? It just stays. Look at this, look at my wrist. They stay firm and constant. That helps me to have that putter slightly DELOFTed. The ball position helps me slightly hit up on it without having to try to back up and hit it up on it, okay? So, checkpoints once again, eyes over ball, hands directly under shoulders, shoulders being square. We have the hips always over the ankles. Face on. Width of stance, hey, we've seen Kenny Perry, we've seen Jonathan Bird. There's many, many, many different widths there. Not a problem. I like it to be outsides of feet to the outsides of the shoulders is typically where I like my players. Okay, but really just making sure the butt of the club after it's pressed forward, if the ball position is 1 inch forward and the butt of the club is on top of the ball, the butt of the club should be 1 inch left of your zipper. There's our checkpoints. You know what's cool? You knock those out every single day. You then get over it knowing that those things are in line. You've set up to truly do everything you possibly can with your setup to hit that ball as solidly as you can and get it running as fast as possible and as truly as possible. Look at the hands and the putter, a direct extension of one another. Hands are under his shoulders, eyes over the ball. He looks a little bit more over the ball and he's been making everything. Well, what was just talked about there is absolute gold for those looking to putt better. And really putting yourself on the path of the least amount of manipulation in your setup. Everything that we do with the setup really sets our players up to have a stroke that gets it online often, and really the glue to that stroke then becomes just the rhythm. We have a full swing masterclass that easily highlights our checkpoints for the setup and the swing. That full swing masterclass has been just incredible for our students. I mean, people around the world have been writing us, telling us they've been shaving shots off their game, and it's like their dictionary or their glossary, I should say, for golf. Which is incredible. We're gonna make a putting masterclass and a short game masterclass, and it's gonna be awesome.